We finally get to use the new sprayer. It's right there, the 40-gallon FIMCO sprayer. I previewed that on another video a couple weeks ago. Haven't had a chance to use it with any chemicals yet. I put water in it, tested it out and everything, and calculated the flow rate and the coverage rate and everything. So now I'm ready to actually use it for chemicals. Today I'm going to be using Grass Out Max. This stuff here, I only want to kill the grasses in my food plot, and then I'm going to make some modifications to the boom of the sprayer so that it can spray over top our Christmas trees. So stick around today, let's have a little fun. Here we go. So in order to use this sprayer on my tractor, I had to order up a wiring harness. So I ordered up the County Line wiring harness. I've already used it and took it out of the package, but I just want to make a mention that the County Line brand harness will work with this sprayer. Now, it's actually not a harness in itself, it's just an extension cord, because the sprayer comes with this cord that has battery connectors on one end and a connector for the pump on the other. It will not reach the battery at the front of the tractor, so that's why I need the extension cord. The only thing I really don't like about this setup is that the cutoff switch for the wiring harness here is only a few feet from the battery itself. So in order for me to cut the thing on and off, I actually need to stop the tractor, raise the loader, open the hood, and then go and cut this off. So it's kind of silly, but I'll probably try to come up with a better solution at another time. I'll have to splice this, move the switch to another location. Not a hard job, it's just not something I've spent any time on just yet. The pump does not run continuously once it builds pressure, so the fact that this is on and sitting under the hood is not that big a deal. And as soon as you need to start spraying and the pump has pressure, and it will automatically cut itself back on again once it needs to create more pressure. So like I said, it's not a big deal that it's there, but it is a little bit of an inconvenience, and I would be able to like to you know, if I was going across property or something, be able to just quickly switch it off and go where I need to go and then switch it back on when I get there. But anyway, that's that. Wanted to explain what I was dealing with there. And just in case you're curious, that wiring, how I've got it run from the pump, wrapped it around the ROPS a couple times, up over the loader control arm there, and then tucked it in the hood right there, and then back out down there, where I could actually stop the tractor and kind of reach down and turn the pump on and off. But the way I've got it set up, I wanted to make sure there wasn't enough hanging out that it was going to get caught up in the wheel when I was turning. So that's up high enough, that's not going to happen. And back here, there's enough that the 3-point can go up and down, and it's not going to get caught up on that wheel either. So here's what I got to do. We don't have any fresh water here at the farm, so I got this 55-gallon drum here full of fresh water. I'm just going to use a bucket. I'm going to load this up, mix the chemical, and then we'll be ready to spray. All right, so we got everything mixed up here on the pump. If you open this valve up, that lets water circulate through the tank, or the water and the chemical. So I just had that running for a while to let that everything mix up really well. And I'm actually going to end up dialing back my pressure just a little bit, because once I open the boom up, right now the boom looks like that. Open that side up. We open that side up. We're going to be ready to start spraying here in a second. You can see that that's sitting there at 40 psi, and the way I had this running earlier, I actually got away with doing just a little bit less to get the ratio that I wanted. So that right about there. And the only other thing I noticed, which is a problem, I didn't see this before when I ran it with just water. I do have a little bit of a drip there at the drain plug. It's all the way tight, so I'm gonna have to look at that once I empty this out and get it all cleaned up. So right over here next to the tractor there's a little burn pile going on. Right behind the burn pile is our food plot that we put in last year. There's a bunch of clover and stuff in here, and I just want to knock out the grasses. So this will be our first time using the sprayer. I'll set you guys up here to watch, and we'll see how it goes. seed plot's done. I think it worked fine. Hopefully I got the math right and it'll knock out that, that grass over there. And what I'm going to do now is set up a little bypass for these two sprayers. Since our rows are set up at 8 feet across, the boom on this is 94 inches. So pretty close to 8 feet. So I'm going to leave it as it is, and I'm just going to set up a bypass for these two nozzles. I have a new T-junction, and then I have a section of hose that'll go on each side to connect to the end nozzles. And then I'm just going to leave these nozzles here. I'll leave this T-junction here, and I'll zip tie the new stuff to the boom. And then whenever I want to switch back and forth, all I'll need to do is make 3 connections. It'll be the new T connection, and I'll need to swap out the connection for the last nozzle. So there we go. Just got it hooked up now to just the 2 end nozzles. The other nozzles are right here, so as soon as I want to reconnect it, I can just switch back over to this one. If this ends up working out well, I think maybe I'll look for some kind of splitter up here and put 2 other valves on here, and then I can just go between 2 nozzles or 4 nozzles. In order to do that, I'd have to have an extra set of nozzles on the ends and separate lines running to each, but that's not that wouldn't be a huge investment, but I kind of want to see how this works out, and there might be some other sprayer upgrades here in the future if that's the case. So now we'll test this out on the Christmas trees. What you'll find with the rows that we laid out, and I mentioned this in my last video where we laid out our newest rows for fall planting this year, upcoming. Our rows, these were all laid out by hand and are not very precise. The rows don't go straight, they kind of go in and out. So there's places where the trees are only like 6 feet apart, and there's places where they're well over 8 feet apart. So we'll just have to end up seeing how the sprayer works on these old rows. All of our new rows going forward are going to be perfectly parallel, at least a lot closer than what we've got here. But I intentionally left some grasses here on our Norway spruces. The grasses are really tall. Once you get down the field that way a little bit around our firs, the grass is a little bit shorter. One thing that I've read and I've heard is that the chemical that we're using doesn't do that great, or it might require extra applications on grass that's taller and more established. So this stuff here is like a foot tall or more in most places around the trees. So this will be a really good test to see how it does here. And once we get down the field where it's a little bit shorter, we'll see how it does there. And then I'll know for future applications maybe at what stage of grass height is the chemical going to work its best. But for today, this is really just about using the sprayer. And of course, we're going to learn how the chemical works as well. And we'll see how it goes. Well, spraying went pretty well. That was easy to use. I think it did what I wanted it to do as far as how I used it. Now we just got to wait and see if the chemical does what we want it to do, which is kill all the grass. So now I want to clean the tank out. I'm just going to put a bucket of water in here. All right, but what I'm going to do now is take the tractor. I'm going to run up and down these new rows that I just marked out the other day for our Christmas tree planting this upcoming season. If there's any residual product in the sprayer, it's going to kill grass in an area where I want grass to die eventually anyway. So that's what I'm going to do now, just let this water cycle through it. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to put a tank conditioner and cleaner in here and cycle that product through all of the hoses and everything as well. This is the tank cleaner I got, FarmWorks brand from Tractor Supply, and it suggests using, well, one, it says fill your tank halfway, whatever size it is, halfway, and then it gives you a use rate of product in here. It's 4 ounces to every 12.5 gallons of water, but this is weight ounces, not fluid ounces, and I don't have a scale. So I'm going to be kind of guessing. I don't know how much water I have left in my tank, so that'll be the first thing I check out. Based on the fill line and how much water I got left, I'll try to estimate how much product to use. I know we're at a little bit of an angle. That's probably about 15 gallons. I should have used my last bucket of water and dissolved this in it before putting it in there. Now I got to try to stir it up. It said to do that in the directions. It said put in half the water you need, dissolve the fluid in the other half, and then put it in there. I misread it and didn't do that. With everything stirred, we're just going to run that cleaner through all the hoses. Well, thanks for checking us out today. If you got questions about this sprayer, ask away in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. And if you want to follow our progress in the future, hit subscribe as well. And the bell icon next to the subscribe button will get you notified of our future videos. That's going to be it for today, guys. Thanks. I'm actually kind of worn out. This heat's getting to me today. I'm really hoping this thing works out. I tell you what, it beats strapping on that backpack sprayer. I know I said that once already, but this is hopefully going to be a big productivity booster for us, because that'll be less time spent spraying, and if we can get the grass and weeds under control, less time spent mowing, and both of those things will be time recaptured for us to do other things here around the property. So hopefully that all pans out the way that we hope it will. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.